Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 27th of March 2023. Now it looks like the first quarter of 2023 is definitely ending in a positive note for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now look guys, what happened last week is that Jerome Powell did announce the interest rate hike of 25 basis points. Now I was under the impression guys, if he increases the interest rate by 25 basis points, there is a very high possibility that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be pumping up to the moon. And to be honest guys, a lot of the so-called crypto influencers, Bitcoin maximalists and crypto enthusiasts were expecting the same thing. But the reason why he increased it only to 25 basis points is not because the inflation is doing good or the general economy is doing good, but rather because there's a massive crisis in the banking industry, particularly in the US and even in Europe. So in today's episode, we're definitely going to look at what is going on so far as the US banking industry is concerned. And as of today guys, the US bank is at $1.7 trillion in unrealized loss. And this is precisely the reason why Balaji Srinivasan was hedging for the price of Bitcoin to reach $1 million by 90 days. Now there is a very less possibility that could happen, but in the cryptocurrency world, never say never. So we'll definitely go and explore the status of US bank, and also we'll look at what is going on in the world of banking in Europe as well. Because over the weekend there's this massive drama going on about Deutsche Bank, and they were on the verge of going belly up as well. So the next few days guys is going to be really critical, particularly for the banking industry. Now in today's episode we're also going to be discussing how much of Bitcoin does the US government actually have, and to be honest this number will be surprising. Later on we'll also discuss Metaverse trading. They have definitely pumped up to the moon, so it looks like 2023 is definitely looking good for NFTs and for Metaverse as well. And finally guys, towards the end of the episode, we are going to be discussing the drama going on between XRP and Security Exchange Commission. And if you're a part of the Ripple army, the prices are definitely looking good for XRP, but I wouldn't be sure because this drama has been going on for quite a number of years. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, we're going to be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news is about Dubai Police NFT, and it was named the best NFT government project. And guys, I've been saying this quite often, it's great to see governments taking initiative, particularly in the world of technology. And so far as NFT is concerned, Dubai Police has definitely been the pioneer in the space. The second news guys is about central bank digital currency, and the Central Bank of UAE is launching the central bank digital currency strategy called as the Digital Dirham. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that news in today's episode. Now listen guys, if you're someone who's an advocate of central bank digital currency, you definitely need to understand what CBDCs are, what Bitcoin is, and then you might get a thorough understanding of the negatives of CBDCs. So quite a lot to talk about in today's episode. So let's kick start with this right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Space Podcast. So check out the Race Space Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Space Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since we've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now as of today, 27th of March, the global cryptocurrency market has gone down measurably. Now as of today, it is at $1.16 trillion. And guys, if you listen to my podcast, before Jerome Powell announcing the interest rate hike to 25 basis points, I made a bold prediction that if he announces the interest rate hike to only 25 basis points, the global cryptocurrency market might cross a $1.5 trillion mark. Unfortunately, that is not the case. And as I say in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.34%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is only down to $33.11 billion. Now, granted, this number is ridiculously low, but you also need to keep in mind the banking crisis that is going on and the fact that it is still a weekend in US, Canada, and other parts of Western countries. Now, since the last 24 hours, though, the total crypto market volume is up by 5.93%. Now, what is really worrisome is the volume in DeFi. As of today, the volume in DeFi is down to $3.07 billion. And if you look at the total value locked, it is once again below the $50 billion mark at $49.14 billion. Lido is still leading the race with 21.29%, and $10.46 billion is locked in its protocol. A few days ago, guys, when you looked at Lido's dominance, it was definitely looking good, but there was a lot of selling going on. But looks like the numbers are reversed and people are actually buying quite a lot of Lido tokens. Now, DeFi accounts for 7.69% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the total value locked is concerned, MakerDAO is number 2nd at $7.61 billion, Aave at number 3rd at $5.59 billion, Core Finance at number 4th at $4.61 billion, and finally Uniswap at $3.79 billion. Now what is once again really worrisome, guys, is the volume of stable coins. The number is less and it is still accounting for a huge percentage of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. As of today, stablecoin accounts for 89.31%, and so far as the volume is concerned, it's only at $29.57 billion, and out of which Tether USDT is still leading the pack at $22.70 billion. And look, guys, I've been saying quite often, the biggest black swan event in the cryptocurrency world could be Tether USDT. Bitfinex has a notorious history, particularly in the world of fintech, particularly in the world of banking, and also in the world of cryptocurrencies and more to do with stable coins. Unfortunately, the volume is ridiculously low, but Tether USDT is still a leader so far stable coins is concerned. Circle USDC is number 2nd at $3.55 billion, and what is really surprising, guys, particularly since the last 24 hours, is the volume of Binance BUSD. It is down to $2.74 billion. So my question is, what is the future of stable coins once central bank digital currency kicks in? Because I really don't understand why you would want to use stable coins when you have central bank digital currencies. The advantage that central bank digital currency has is they will be having customer support, and if there is any backlog or errors, there will be a customer support that will be able to fix it for you. So from an average individual point of view, I really don't understand why you would want to use stable coins once central bank digital currency kicks in. Now let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's market cap is $537 billion. Ethereum's market cap is $214 billion. Now, as and when the Shanghai upgrade date kicks in, I'm pretty much sure we're going to see some drastic volume, particularly in the market cap and also the 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum. A lot of them might be withdrawing Ethereum, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the price of ETH as well. Now, as of today, the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $14.6 billion. The 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum is $7.25 billion. Now, I wouldn't be surprised as and when the Shanghai upgrade kicks in and when validators will be able to withdraw the funds, the volume of Ethereum might just be 2 or 3 times more than Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume. Now, let's look at the dominance. Bitcoin's dominance is 46.42%, whereas Ethereum's dominance is 18.50%. Now, guys, in today's episode, I'm going to be looking at the market cap of smart contracting platform and privacy coins. Ethereum's market cap is $214 billion. Binance BNB Chain's market cap is $51.66 billion, and Cardano's market cap has marginally pumped up to $12.11 billion. Now let's look at the privacy coins market cap. Monero is at $2.95 billion, and I wouldn't be surprised over the next few days if it crosses the $3 billion mark. Now what is really surprising, guys, is during the banking crisis, the market cap of privacy coins definitely pumped up, and Mars Network is number 2nd at $466 million, and Zcash is at $380 million. Now let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. It is currently at $27,798. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.02%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.32%. Ethereum is at $1,754. Since the last 24 hours, though, it is marginally up by 0.04%. Since the last 7 days, it is marginally down by 0.54%. Now, what are your price predictions, guys, regarding Ethereum when the Shanghai upgrade kicks in? What are your predictions before the date, during the upgrade, and after the upgrade? Mention them in the comments below. Now let's look at Binance BNB coin. It is at $327. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.98%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.26%. Now look, guys, since the last few weeks, there's massive drama going on, particularly in the banking industry, and the rapid collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, Silvergate Bank has definitely put a lot of pressure on the Federal Reserve Board, and the Federal Reserve Board, along with FDIC, is trying to print money in order to save the banking industry. And look, guys, the entire trust in the traditional finance is definitely being questioned. And regarding Europe, Credit Suisse has definitely gone belly up, and over the weekend, there was this massive news about Deutsche Bank, and they were on the verge of collapse as well. But looks like they have definitely been restored. So the big question is, where does Bitcoin fit into all of this? Because right now, when you talk about the US banking industry, they are sitting on a $1.7 trillion in unrealized loss. Now, guys, what do we mean by unrealized loss? It means that at the moment, they are currently in loss, but in the next few months or so, they might be able to recover these losses. But what is really critical to understand is when the banks are in unrealized loss, and let's say, guys, due to any unforeseen circumstances, could it be geopolitical situation, and people were to have a bank run, the entire banking industry might just collapse. And that is exactly what Balaji Srinivasan is banking on. And he's focusing on hyper-Bitcoinization, where people are going to be dealing in Bitcoin and has absolutely nothing to do with Bitcoin. And keeping that in mind, he has a bet that the price of Bitcoin will touch $1 million in the next 90 days. Now, to discuss more about the $1.7 trillion in unrealized loss, a new paper by researchers at New York University on March 13th found that the banks that went belly up aren't the only ones with these issues, and the US banks in general had unrealized losses of $1.7 trillion by the year in 2022, that the losses were nearly equal to banks to equity of $2.1 trillion. And look, guys, recent bank failures and unrealized losses due to rising interest rates have raised concerns over the stability of the US banking industry, and this is exactly the reason why Bitcoin was created. Satoshi Nakamoto, when he wrote the Bitcoin white paper, he did take a jab to the Chancellor of the Bank of England. Now, guys, regarding the banking industry, what you need to understand is while regulators and business leaders have assured customers that the deposits are safe, a new study by the New York University has shown that the US banks had unrealized losses of $1.7 trillion at the end of 2022, and these losses were nearly equal to the bank's total equity, and rising interest rates have further eroded bank assets value, which has increased the fragility of the banking system. And additionally, guys, near $7 trillion of the $17 trillion in the total US bank deposits are currently uninsured by the FDIC. Now listen, guys, the danger starts here. If half of these uninsured depositors decide to withdraw their funds after the recent bank instability, it could put hundreds of billions of dollars of deposits in jeopardy. And this is exactly what Balaji Srinivasan was talking about. Now, the potential for a bank run is a concern, and $1 trillion in deposits were actually pulled from the most vulnerable banks after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. And guys, this actually led to more bank runs and the realization of banks' unrealized losses, and if depositors withdrew their funds at mass. And guys, politicians and some business leaders are calling for the Federal Reserve Board to backstop every type of depositor at all banks to prevent further bank runs from the public. And this is where, guys, where the Republicans and the Democrats are working together. But Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said that she is not considering blanket insurance for all US bank deposits unless systemic risk becomes an issue. Now listen, guys, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is definitely not a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and the billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman has also called the FDIC to explicitly guarantee all deposits now to stop the bleeding. And guys, this is exactly what Jerome Powell explained when he announced the interest rate hike of 25 basis points. Now, he did announce a lower interest rate hike, but it shows some kind of assurance, particularly to the banking industry. Now, guys, had he announced the interest rate hike only to 25 basis points, and if the inflation numbers were fine, it would have meant that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be pumping up to the moon. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So what are your thoughts, guys, on the price predictions? Mention them in the comments below. Now let's discuss how much of Bitcoins does the US government have. And as of 25th of March, the US government actually has 205,515 Bitcoins, which is roughly around $5.6 billion, which is approximately 1.06% of the circulating supply. Now, Bitcoin.com did actually repeat that the cache of Bitcoins resulted from 3 forfeitures that began in 2020, and the current estimates of 205,505 Bitcoins come from Dune Analytics' set of matrix, which was created by 21 Shares, which is an exchange-traded provider. And look, guys, I've already dropped an email to the CEO of 21 Shares, and he has actually replied, and most likely I might be having an episode with him probably in the next coming weeks. Now, the US government seized Bitcoin stash comes from three different cases, that is the Silk Road seize in 2020, the Bitfinex hack confiscation in 2022, which was a massive drama, and the seizure of Bitcoin came from James Hong in November of 2022, and the largest amount of Bitcoin, that is 94,643, was taken from Lyle Lichtenstein and his wife Heather Morgan, and there was a lot of drama going on, and it looked like that the government was just setting them up. Now, the second largest amount was 69,369 Bitcoin was seized from an individual known as Individual X, and the third largest amount was 51,326 Bitcoin and was seized from James Hong. Now listen guys, we talk about Bitcoin being unconfiscatable, but there is this terminology used among the Federal Reserve Board, and they call it the $15 baton. So essentially what a police can do is take a baton, smack it in your head, and force you to give out your private keys. But nonetheless, some of the seized Bitcoins have moved, reducing the total amount held by government from 215,338 Bitcoin to the number that I mentioned earlier of 205,515 Bitcoin. Now, Glassnode, they provide a weekly insight every Mondays, and they have put up a report that stated that around 40,000 of the seized Bitcoins have been on the move, with most of them being internal transfers. However, 9,861 Bitcoin that was seized from the Silk Road hacker have been sent to Coinbase cluster. And guys, this is the power of open blockchain. All of the transactions can be tracked by absolutely anyone. Now, what the report by Bitcoin.com also states is that the Bitcoins held by the US government is based on publicly available information and is likely a lower bound estimation, and it is possible that the government does actually hold more Bitcoin that they currently know of. Now, compared to other large holders, the US government seized stash of Bitcoin is similar to Grayscale's, but larger than MicroStrategy and Mt. Gox Cash as well. And the FBI was the second largest Bitcoin holder at one point after seizing the original Silk Road marketplace, but they sold all those Bitcoins in auctions in 2014, and Tim Draper was the guy who actually bought it, and I believe he bought it at a cheap price of roughly around $800 or so. And I very specifically remember Tim Draper did actually print out a t-shirt which said that the prices, I believe, for one Bitcoin will cross $250,000 by year end 2022. What he did earlier in the year is he did put out the same t-shirt, and he's making the bold prediction by 2023. And Balaji Srinivasan is saying that the price of Bitcoin will touch $1 million in the next 90 days. Now, with all this financial crisis going on in the banking industry, it is a possibility, but to be honest, guys, I extremely doubt it. Now, guys, let's discuss some record-breaking performance in 2023, and this is in the world of Metaverse. And Dap Radar has actually published an article which states that on the 23rd of this month, the virtual worlds actually pumped up to the moon, and record land sales generated $311 million, and in the first quarter, $502 million in investments were seen in blockchain gaming and the Metaverse. And Daily Coin, they have put up a summary of this article which actually states that Metaverse trading volumes reached an all-time high in quarter 1 of 2023. Virtual land trading soared 277% since quarter 4 of 2022, and finally, digital fashions and Web3 gaming emerged as top prospect for growth. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Will this trend continue? I really highly doubt it, but nonetheless, if you're into Metaverse, if you're into NFTs, this is definitely positive news. Now, guys, let's discuss some drama going on between Ripple and SEC. Now, this drama has been going on for quite some years, and looks like the XRP army is definitely utilizing this news in order to pump the price of XRP. Now, CNBC has published an article last week that discussed because of the drama of Ripple and SEC, the prices of XRP did actually pump up, and XRP jumped up because investors hope that Ripple will win a legal battle with the SEC. And Monica Long, who's the president of Ripple, did actually tell CNBC that she's very hopeful about achieving a positive resolution to the SEC case, with an outcome expected sometime later this year. But what you need to understand, guys, is XRP is a cryptocurrency that is closely associated with Ripple. Now, they did surge 11% last Wednesday because investors grew hopeful that the firm would win its legal battle with the SEC. But what is happening is that the SEC is accusing Ripple of breaching US security laws by selling XRP without registering it as a security. But Ripple is arguing that the SEC's allegations stating XRP shouldn't be considered as a security. Now, if XRP were to be deemed a security, guys, it will have a huge ramification for the digital currency industry. Now look guys, the rules are pretty black and white. If you know what the Harvey test is, based on my understanding, this clearly looks like a security. But what happened last week is that Ripple submitted a notice pointing to a separate case involving Binance US and Voyager Digital. And what Ripple is arguing is that the SEC rejected Binance US plans to buy all of Voyager assets, including its VGX tokens. And what they argued was that VGX was a security and Binance was an unregistered security exchange. However, the judge rejected SEC's objections and approved the bankruptcy plan, citing the vagueness of SEC's argument. And I did cover this in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast. And because of this news, the investors and the people who were affected by the collapse of Voyager Digital would have been benefited. But what SEC is arguing is that because of that case, there is a very high possibility that Ripple will not be considered as a security as well. Now listen guys, I am not a massive fan of XRP or RippleNet. I don't think so you'd require the token as well, because Ripple or XRP is a software. So I'm on the side of SEC, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ripple actually wins this case. Now guys, let's discuss two news regarding Dubai, UAE and Middle East. And the first news is about Dubai Police NFT, and they have been named the best NFT government project. So let me try to give out some more information. Now the official source for this news is Emirates News Agency, and the website is www.wam.ae. Now the news is that the General Department of Artificial Intelligence at Dubai Police won the Best NFT Government Project award for its NFT project, and the award ceremony was held in Dubai and attended by various officials, including Colonel Hussein Ahmad bin Galatia, who received the award on behalf of the department. And Dubai Police is one of the leading government institutions in launching collection of NFTs, and they have released 2 batches of NFTs. And the department confirmed that it is the first government entity in the UAE to create its own digital assets. It is also the first police agency in the world to launch its first set of NFT tokens for free through social media platform. And when they released the first batch, I believe millions of people all over the world did actually ask for information. And I very specifically remember guys, the official information regarding the Dubai Police NFT was via Facebook and via Instagram. And the set included 150 free digital assets that symbolizes the force's value of innovation, security and communication. And the launch of non-fungible digital assets came in line with government's directiveness towards growing interest in digital assets. It also contributed to attracting those interested in this modern digital trend, and Colonel Bill Galatia expressed his pride at being honored with the award, which is the first of its kind in the world. And listen guys, if you attended GITEX event, there was definitely massive news about Dubai Police NFT, and the Dubai Police NFT project team also attended the ceremony, which was held in the ballroom of Armani Hotel at Burj Khalifa, and the award was given during a global ceremony of NFTs. So definitely brilliant stuff guys, and the Dubai Police NFT project was recognized as the best NFT government project, and the NFT project is part of Dubai Police's efforts to use technology to improve its services and better serve the community. And the NFTs created by the Dubai Police are expected to have a great value in the future. The NFTs are unique digital assets that cannot be replicated, making them highly valuable. And guys, the Dubai Police's NFT project is an innovative way to promote its value and connect with the community. And the Dubai Police's NFT project is an excellent example of how technology can be used in advancing government services. And look guys, when you talk about Dubai and UAE in the world of Web 3.0, in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it's so great to see governments actually taking an active part. And I very specifically remember when we announced this via the social media, people all over the world, they were definitely excited by it, and all of the NFTs were completely free of cost. Now guys, let's discuss the second news, and this is to do with Central Bank of UAE, and they are launching the Central Bank Digital Currency Strategy called as the Digital Dirham. Now look guys, I do have a standalone episode on Central Bank Digital Currency. What I'd really recommend you to do is listen to it, because what I do is I go ahead and explain what is Central Bank Digital Currency, how does it compare with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and do they pose a threat for your individual freedom? So listen to that episode, and I also go ahead and discuss of CBDCs, our Web 3.0. Now let's discuss more about this news. So the news is that the Central Bank of UAE is implementing its CBDC strategy, and the strategy is one of 9 initiatives of Central Bank UAE's financial infrastructure, also called as FID program. and the Central Bank of UAE has engaged with G42 Cloud and R3 as infrastructure and technology service providers, and the first phase of the strategy, guys, is expected to be completed over the next 12 to 15 months, and the first phase includes three major pillars, that is a soft launch of mBridge, proof of concept work for bilateral central bank digital currency bridges with India, and a proof of concept for domestic CBDC issuance. So at the outset, you need to understand, when you talk about CBDCs, there are essentially three types of CBDCs. You have retail CBDCs, you have wholesale CBDC, and you have multiple CBDC. So check out that episode, you'll get more information about that. Now going back to the news, guys, what the report claims is that CBDC is a risk-free form of digital money issued and guaranteed by the central bank. It serves as a secure, cost-effective and efficient form of payment and a store of value. But once again, guys, if you were to compare it to Bitcoin, it is an absolute no-brainer why Bitcoin is a better form of money. But central bank digital currency, guys, will help address the pain points of domestic and cross-border payments and enhance financial inclusions. It will strengthen UAE's payment infrastructure, providing additional robust payment channels, ensuring a resilient and reliable financial system. And the Central Bank of UAE aims to ensure readiness to integrate payment infrastructures with the future potential tokenized world. And CBDC, guys, is part of UAE's digital transformation journey. It will promote financial inclusion and move towards a cashless society. And CBDC, based on the news, will accelerate digitization journey of the UAE. If you do want to look at the official news, what I'd really recommend you to do is go to the Central Bank of UAE's website and read through the information directly from the first source, because what it states is that the Central Bank of UAE aims to explore the opportunities the central bank digital currency will bring to the wider economy and society, and more details and updates will be released in due course. And guys, the Central Bank of UAE has completed several CBDC initiatives, including a project called APA with the Saudi Central Bank and the first real value cross-border CBDC pilot under the mBridge, which is a multiple central bank digital currency, and a project with Hong Kong Monetary Authority. And guys, the Central Bank UAE CBD strategy marks a key step in the evolution of money and payments in the country, and the strategy will further position and solidify the UAE as a leading global fintech hub. Now listen, guys, what I plan to do is I want to make a series of episodes explaining what central bank digital currencies are, so definitely keep an eye on for that. So that's all for today, guys, in the Crypto and Coffee Update from Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Raj who asks, can the government go aggressively after crypto? Most likely not, Raj. I don't see a reason as to why the governments would aggressively go after crypto. And the only country that I can think of as going aggressively after crypto is India and maybe China. But in doing so, the existing country's value and transactions will be going to waste. Now, I don't think so it will be a good idea for any country to go after cryptocurrency in particular. Now, on a side note, there's this notion that blockchain technology, not Bitcoin, is definitely building momentum once again. That should not be the case. It will always be Bitcoin, not blockchain. Also, you need to remember, Raj, when you talk about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular, Bitcoin uses a hashing algorithm called a SHA-256 or Secure Hashing Algorithm 256. It's no surprise who created the Secure Hashing Algorithm, and yes, it was created by the US military. So I wouldn't be surprised if the CIA or the government is also behind Bitcoin. And Bankless, one of my favorite podcasters, they have an episode where they actually discuss if CIA could be the ones behind creating Bitcoin. Listen, guys, you absolutely never say never. Now, going back to your question, can the governments go aggressively after crypto? I definitely don't think so. Probably it won't be a good idea as well. So let's say, for instance, if India were to go aggressively after crypto, what other countries can do is they can take this as an opportunity, particularly countries, let's say, like UAE. They are quite welcoming for cryptocurrencies, and the other countries will have a competitive advantage. Now, cryptocurrency at this point of time have reached a massive global scale, and going after cryptocurrencies will definitely not be an ideal move. Now, it'll be cool if you were to, let's say, maybe rephrase the question and maybe say that would it be ideal if the governments do not interfere with cryptocurrency at all and let it be organic? That Raj will be absolutely brilliant. And this goes back to the very definition of Bitcoin. People still don't understand that Bitcoin was created so that transactions are peer-to-peer. When we talk about smart contracts or NFTs, Metaverse, as long as you're able to have transactions peer-to-peer, that is what the goal of cryptocurrency is. And it'd be great to see which country or which government does actually support that initiative, which means there is no need for a government, there is no need for a central entity. The transactions are peer-to-peer. And Raj, the basic definition of Bitcoin as well is peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Now, if that thing works, and I really am not sure when that thing would happen. Initially, I was under the impression that it might take a decade. Then I thought it might take maybe a couple of decades. But based on how politics and politicians are notoriously known and aggressively trying to protect the fintech world and finance industry, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole goal of having a peer-to-peer money might just never happen as well. But you never know, it might take maybe 6 to 8 decades where we are living in the world where transactions are completely peer-to-peer without the need for a central entity. Now, going back to your questions, sure, the governments can aggressively go after cryptocurrency, but the competing nations will take this as an opportunity. They will try to motivate people to start using cryptocurrency, and the country that goes aggressively after crypto will definitely be the one that might be suffering a lot. So those are at least what my thoughts are, right? So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you do have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website every2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover job news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies. Some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. Yet that the news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East, in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.